Hello, mysterious person behind the screen, and welcome to a very special Doctor Who audio commentary in celebration of the 58th birthday of our favourite show. I'm once again joined by Isaac.
Hello there.
And we've got a very special guest with us this time. We're joined by Philip Hawkins.
Hello.
Now, Phil, for those in the audience who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I've been a Doctor Who fan for a very long time, for probably about 30 years or so now. That'll give you a key how old I am. But also, I have a YouTube channel where I like to talk a lot about Doctor Who. I talk about other things as well. It's a general pop culture YouTube channel, but it is, I'd say, about 50% Doctor Who stuff on there.
Nice. And yeah, it's a great channel, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we are watching The Five Doctors today, the original transmitted version, not the special edition. And there's not too much more to say here. Isaac, will you do the honours?
If you'd like to sync this up with your own copy of the transmitted version of The Five Doctors, put the episode to the start and press play in 3, 2, 1, go.
It's funny you say it's you almost said film there, and it basically is a film.
It is, yeah. It's well, funnily enough, the Australian Broadcasting Company did fund part of this special.
Yeah, because wasn't it aired over there first?
Yes, it was. It was the first
That's
time.
strange.
I think. Yeah, it was the first time an episode of Doctor Who had aired outside of the UK first, and the second time that happened was, funnily enough, I think for Silver Nemesis Part 1. I think America got the 25th anniversary special first. Yeah.
How dare they? I gotta say, it's very jarring there, going from William Hartnell into the 80s theme tune. That was a bit jarring.
But yeah, it is. But I think what's great, I mean, we'll get to them at the end. The end credits are terrific because it's the old theme and then it nicely merges into the new theme, which is great. And it's a brand new TARDIS console.
Oh, that's why he's cleaning it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny. I remember watching a review of Warriors of the Deep, and one of the complaints was, the TARDIS has seen better days. I'm like, dude, it was brand new at the time. What you on about?
I mean, the old console that was getting on a bit, wasn't it? I think by the end of the previous season, you could see bits hanging off. It had been used for years, so it was time for an update. And I know a lot of people criticise this design for being very 80s, but I really like it. I do like it a lot.
I do as
I like
well.
how
I
much
like
stuff
the
is on it.
column, yeah. The column in the middle is great. It looks like a diamond.
I know, and it's such a weird thing to say, but I love the lever that he pulls for the door.
Yeah.
And this is the most tranquil place in the universe, known as North Wales.
Getting a bit of art done.
I mean, having been to North Wales, I can say, yeah, it is a pretty peaceful place.
Yeah. No dissing North Wales here.
See, he seems to be doing a nice landscape picture of what he sees, but like the most interesting thing is surely the thing that's behind him. The castle. You want to be facing the other way to do your painting.
Yeah.
I just realised Tegan and the Second Doctor, they wear a similar coat, a big coat.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not paired up together, which is such a shame. I'll say this about the story. It's amazing how well it came together, considering story changes, actor availability, budget, so many things that plague a production were on this. But yeah, Terrence Dicks, he pulled it off so well, I think.
Definitely. I mean, yeah.
First Doctor.
Yeah, the fake First Doctor.
Well, I mean, we have Richard Herndl to thank for opening the door of recasting doctors whose actors have passed away. Without him, there'd probably be no David Bradley.
Indeed, yeah, true.
Yeah, you're right there. What are your guys' thoughts on him in this generally?
I think he's really good. When I first saw this story, I hadn't seen any of Hartnell, so I had nothing to compare to. But yeah, having seen all of his stories now, yeah, you can tell the differences.
Yeah, I think I had very limited Hartnell experience when I saw this because as a kid I owned two VHSs of Doctor Who, one of which was this. The other one was Daleks: The Early Years, which obviously
Oh,
had
nice.
some stuff of Hartnell's on it. So I'd kind of seen Hartnell a bit in that, and then I had this, and that was kind of my early Doctor experience.
Well, funnily enough, this was the third classic Doctor Who I ever saw. I was a bit confused by everything, but I think I understood it as as a 9-year old watching it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember having some birthday money and going into the shop. Had birthday money to spend, and I wanted to get a VHS. And I think my thought pattern of what was available at the time was that I was basically getting five Doctors for the price of one with this, so it was much better value.
Oh
no,
God, I
that's true.
remember. Speaking of that, Five Doctors for the Price of One. I remember being in CEX and this woman was there with her kid, and she says, "Oh, we're not buying Captain America because he's in the Avengers, and you've got all your superheroes there." Like, I almost wanted to say, "No, still buy it. It's a great film." You.
Oh well, I mean, you got to admire the logic. No,
Yep.
yeah, I mean this was I think it was the second classic Doctor Who I ever saw. And again, like you said, I was a bit confused by who kind of everyone was in relation to each other.
Well, I remember when I bought the special edition DVD, there was actually a guide that came with it that told you who each character was,
Yes, yeah.
and that was so helpful.
Yeah, no, but it's interesting because I would certainly, I think this is a good, although it does have that element of confusion, I think it's a good early classic Doctor Who for somebody to watch because it's kind of a taster of everybody's
Yeah.
Doctor and everybody's era. You can kind of pick and choose which one you kind of gravitate towards the most and just go watch more of that particular Doctor or era. So I think it's a good
Yeah.
taster for sure.
And I think Troughton, he's just having. I think out of all the Doctors to come back, he's probably the one having the most fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also, this Sergeant here, apparently that was supposed to be Sergeant Benton, but John Levine turned it down because he said it wasn't in his character not to recognise the second Doctor. And I don't know who to blame for that cock up, Terence Dicks or Eric Saywood.
That's true. To be fair, I mean that would be distracting. What
Yeah.
whose idea was that? That's weird. That's really odd.
hmm And also, the second Doctor here references Omega, so the events of the three Doctors are in his past, so already they're referencing Season 6B.
Yes.
Setting it up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's best not to think too hard about the the
Yeah.
individual timelines in this.
Yeah, I was trying. I mean, I remember last time I watched this, which was a couple of years ago now. I was trying to work out the third Doctor's timeline in relation to Sarah Jane.
Yeah,
Yeah, because at the end he says, "Thank you, Sarah Jane. It was nice to meet you too." So is this pre-season 11?
Yeah,
13?
exactly. It was. Yeah, I was very confused about that.
yeah. You really can't think too hard about it because it all just falls apart. It's like the two Doctors as well. Just unless you go season 6B, don't think any more to it because it just it's just sort of a mess of logic.
hmm It's amazing how 30 years later, for the 50th anniversary, history repeated itself. Tom Baker didn't want to come back for this. Chris Eccleston didn't want to come back for the 50th.
That's true. Will Eccleston ever change his mind like Tom Baker did, though? Probably.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
he
Chris
said-
Eccleston says, "I'll come back to TV when hell freezes over."
Yeah. But then again, he said that about conventions quite a few years ago, and he does quite a few of them.
And
now.
audio dramas, yep.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. So
You never know.
never say never. There was John Pertwee there riding by the biggest horse known to man.
Yeah, that. Oh, guys, have you listened to the actual commentaries on this DVD? They're fucking hilarious.
I have, yeah.
Who is it?
There's a guest commentary with, I'm not making this up, David Tennant, Phil Collinson, and Helen Rayner. It is amazing.
Brilliant.
It is just three fans like geeking out for 90 minutes. It's so
Yeah,
fun.
David Tennant reveals that after Planet of Fire Part 1, he went to go and spend time in his room because of Nicola Bryant.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah, he says, oh yeah, I remember Planet of Fire. I had to go and spend time in my room after that.
It's an Easter egg on the D. It's not actually an official. You have to find it. That commentary, don't you?
Well, if you press the audio option and go on the third or fourth track, it's there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and and there's a great one on the special edition of Peter Davison and Terence Sturks. That's really good.
Yeah, and there's one
Every
with
time-
Carol Ann Ford on it, isn't there?
Yeah, every time the Cybermen show up, Terence is like, oh, he's bloody Shaywood with his Cybermen. I hate Cybermen. They're terribly boring.
I mean that's right. We were getting at this point in the history of the show, this was sort of getting into that turbulent feud between Eric Saywood and JNT, and it's sort of
And this officially canonizes K9 and
I know.
Company.
I was about to say, I love the fact that they have gone well, I mean, it did air on TV. Why would it not be official? K9 is officially with Sarah Jane.
I just love fans' logic here. Eighth Doctor prior to Human Nature. Was he really canon? K9 and Company. Yeah, that definitely happened.
Definitely canon. But it works. It works, and yeah. Like you said, Phil, it makes sense for them to do it. It's nice that it's... Because they could have just ignored that as a failed experiment. But no,
yeah,
it's
and
nice.
I think it led to particularly from me as well, when I was getting into Classic Who, it led to a bit of a misconception that they appear on the Classic series together.
Yeah, me too.
And K9.
Yeah.
Yes, same here.
But, yeah, it's because it's funny. K9 literally comes in after Sarah Jane leaves. This is the 10 millionth time it's been released.
Yes, this is one of the billion versions of Shardy that you can watch. It's
and it was never completed, which is amazing.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's a very creative way to solve the issue of where's Tom Baker, though, because to the public of 1983, they probably wouldn't have had a clue. They wouldn't have seen this.
Yeah, they wouldn't have probably guessed the difference. No.
No, exactly, and it makes sense. It's like creative problem solving, really. Of course, watching it now, it's it's odd because we know about Sharda and everything, and we fans kind of know all the ins and outs of this. But it's yeah, I think it's a pretty
the only
clever
clue
way.
probably would have been the publicity shot where the waxwork.
Yes.
The shocking
The
wax.
original-
That was a bit of a giveaway. If anybody actually believed that was Tom Baker, I think they need their eyesight checking.
The original draft for the companion pairings were going to be the first Doctor and Susan, the second Doctor and Jamie, the third Doctor Joe and the Brigadier, and the fourth Doctor and Sarah Jane. But when Tom dropped out, they all got shifted around.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, Fraser Hines
They
was
had
going
to
to
have
have
Sarah Jane in it, presumably.
Yeah, and Fraser Hines was going to have a big role in this, but I think it was Emmerdale saying, no, you're staying with us.
Yeah, and it does feel odd without him, really.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. But it's like you just said there, Phil, Sarah Jane has to be in it. And it's...
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel right without her either, so... But I don't think... Although it feels odd without Fraser Hines there, when you're actually kind of in the flow of the story, you kind of just get sucked into the pairing of...
I think the second Doctor and Brigadier do work very well together, and yeah, the way they speak to each other, you think they spent their whole era together, but they only had 2 stories.
Yeah. So what's everyone's thoughts on the Black Triangle of Death?
I like it. My question is, though, I get why it needs the Doctors, but why does it bother to take a companion? It's not like he needs them.
Shits and giggles in it.
Yeah.
Something to do. But no, yeah. Obviously we're watching the transmission version. Do we prefer the special edition CGI effects over the Black Triangle?
Oh, well, the prism type, twisty prism.
The Mr.
Well,
Whippy
I call it.
effect.
Well, I call
Yeah.
it Well, Terrence Dix calls it Casper.
Casper.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Well, it
don't
was the
know.
version that I was introduced to,
Same.
and I do have a soft spot for it. You know, the special effects updates aren't too distracting. I quite like the extended scenes. It just gives it a more of a relaxed feel, and also some scenes are reordered actually to match the original script. But yeah.
Yeah.
But whenever I go and rewatch this, I always go back to the transmitted version.
I,
Plus, I know fans laugh at it, but I can't stand it when that Cyberman in this version sees the Doctor and the Master and goes, "Ah."
see,
I'm glad they cut that out in the special edition.
see, I love things like that just because it's just like it just makes me laugh every time. It's just.
I mean, John Nathan Turner did not like the special edition. He said, "As far as I'm concerned, they've turned an exciting adventure into a boring yarn."
God.
Because it wasn't done with his involvement, unlike something like The Curse of Fenric.
There's the Time Lords
Mm.
with their weird hats.
Again, in the special edition, there's an extended scene of Barusa walking
Oh yeah, it's just him walking
to the
isn't it?
council chamber, but the music there by Peter Howell is really nice.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny now, like watching these Time Lord scenes and, and knowing what has been revealed in recent years. I mean, because
yeah.
the Time Lords have always been massively
Morally
corrupt.
ambiguous.
Yeah, they're complete. They're completely
I mean,
benevolent
to be-
and kind of terrifying.
Yeah, I've never seen them as benevolent figures. I mean, I think even on transmission in the war games, like, I think publicity after it aired saying like, "Oh dear, Doctor Who has finally been defeated. One of his enemies, the Time Lords, has finally killed him," or something like that.
Good old Anthony. Ainley.
Anthony, oh, he's so good in this. No,
He's a very private
No.
person, wasn't he?
yeah. Here's a fun fact: his dad was John Pertwee's godfather.
Really?
Ah.
Yeah, and Tom
didn't know
Baker for quite a while used to live with his brother Richard. So I think Tom was like family to them.
Oh, small world. Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he gives it his all in this. I mean, the Five Doctors to me is always just almost turn your brain off, bit of fun,
Mm,
and
yeah.
Ainley as a villain in this just perfectly is suited to that. I think.
Yeah, like when they say to him, "You're the most corrupt, evil being in all of Time Lord history," he's smirking brilliantly because he's obviously taking all this as compliments.
Here's a question about the Master. Everyone, has their favourite Master, but one distinctive feature of the Master is often his beard. So taking away everything else, which Master has the best beard?
Roger Delgado, I'd say.
I think you're right.
Yeah, Delgado. Yeah, you can't beat that beard. You can't beat that beard. I mean, half the time was Ainley's fake.
I think he wore a toupee, but I'm not sure about his beard.
Yeah, because funnily enough, I know he doesn't have it in the Doctor in Distress music video.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, Sim had a damn good go at a beard when he came back.
Yeah.
Now, what frustrates me about Susan here is that she's just reunited with her grandfather, the First Doctor, after being left, after the Dalek invasion of Earth, and yet every time she has come back in Big Finish or spin-off media, they act like it's the first time she's seen him since he dropped her off.
Right, okay.
When even the
That's true.
TV show has them meeting each other again.
Yeah, and it's quite a nice. I like how Herndl plays it. It's quite a
Yeah.
nice little understated moment. I mean, I do.
Well,
I do sort of laugh at how he says Susan. Like every time he says Susan, surely it's Susan.
The other thing in this is that she doesn't really treat the Fifth Doctor like it's the same person as her grandfather. She doesn't she never calls him grandfather or.
Well, there's when they enter the TARDIS, there's like a look in the special edition between the Fifth Doctor and Susan, because from the Fifth Doctor's perspective, he hasn't seen her in hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Funnily enough, Carol Ann Ford did get into a bit of a disagreement with JNT because he didn't want her to call the First Doctor grandfather.
Oh, I've
because,
heard this.
Yeah, he didn't want to imply that the Doctor had had sex.
I've heard this.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
so mad.
But yeah, she put her foot down and said, no, I always called my Doctor grandfather. But it's a bit jarring here because she's clearly a woman in her 40s. When she started out, she was supposed to be a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that's too strange because it's not like it's grandfather isn't the same as like mummy, or daddy. Whereas it's not something you grow out of talking. Whether or not you call your grandparents what you call them, and you tend to call them it for their whole lives, whether that be granddad or grandfather or whatever. So I don't think that's particularly jarring.
No, it's all right. I don't mind. I mean, Susan is still very much Susan. She's still running around doing her ankle,
twisting her ankle,
and which is good. I mean, fair play to Carol Ann Ford. She gives her all, and often the role of Susan never really lived up to how good she is.
You seen the outtakes for this story? They're pretty funny.
They're brilliant.
The Dalek that goes, exterminate, bugger, I've lost them. And I think Bessie kept stalling on location, and John Pertwee was just like, oh shit.
Yeah. And it's
I'm glad they at least got a Dalek in here.
I was just about to say, it's nice that the Daleks are in here. They serve no purpose to the plot, but I mean, you can't have an anniversary special without having some Daleks in some form. It'd feel weird.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they did it. Yeah. It's a cool idea as well. This whole thing, I've always liked this. It's very, very inventive way to get to kill the Dalek. To get it to shoot itself through the mirrors. It's a cool visual.
Yeah.
And we've got the some of the original Dalek operators on this, haven't we?
Yeah, this is John Scott Martin in there. Yeah.
Yes, and he was there.
I really like that you get to see the mutant as well.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's brilliant that they don't dwell on it. They don't really have a moment where they're like, oh look, it's just there, and they just let it play. It's really nice. It's a really cool bit of direction.
The way he says that line, it's very dangerous to fire energy weapons in an enclosed space, sounds like an advert. When handling energy weapons, be careful. If you're using an energy weapon, think.
It's funny actually, like watching this now. I heard somebody say a few years ago, it's like Richard Herndl was a bit too snappy and severe as the First Doctor, and David Bradley was a bit too soft as the First Doctor. Like none of them quite had the balance that Hartnell had.
I don't know. I think David Bradley probably came closer to the First Doctor than Richard Herndl did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to agree.
I mean, I'd say the person who sounds the most like Hartnell, and it baffles me that they didn't bring him back for Big Finish, was a voice actor called John Guilo, is that how you say it? Because he voiced the Doctor for the Planet of Giants reconstruction, and even voiced the First Doctor in the Day of the Doctor.
Oh right! Oh, he's the guy. Oh, he's the sound like they bought.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the guy who said, "Calling the War Council of Gallifrey. This is the Doctor."
Yeah. Oh, cool.
That's him.
I
and
know that.
Yeah, I mean David Bradley's great and all, but yeah, it feels weird bringing someone who looks like Hartnell for an audio adventure when you're not going to see it.
This certainly feels like one of those scenes where the budget got them.
This was the part 1 cliffhanger when it was split into 4 episodes.
Oh yeah, just Sarah Jane slowly rolling down a slightly steep embankment.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
I
even that Sleepy Hill.
No.
Why does she need that
I-
rope to help her get out of there?
I get the impression
remember
in the
in-
script it's sort of meant to be a bigger, more dangerous hill.
like a cliff or
Like a
something.
cliff.
I remember in
Yeah.
2014 when Doctor Who aired on the Horror Channel, Classic Who, with season 22 they aired it as 4 25-minute episodes, and you got cliffhangers where there wasn't supposed to be cliffhangers, like this from Attack of the Cybermen. Where did you get this? The Cryons. Credits.
Oh no!
Peril is off the charts.
Wasn't another one of the cliffhangers for this when it was split into 4 was just the Master coming down some stairs.
Yeah, the Master coming down some
and
stairs.
then it just cuts to credits. It's like, oh great.
Yeah.
He I don't know if you guys noticed, he just recognised her. He referred to her by name. So this is after he met her.
Oh yeah,
He said-
"Hello, Sarah Jane."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he clearly does know who. Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, like I said, don't think about
I mean,
it.
he also says, when she says, "You became all," and he says, "Cheap and girls." Like,
Teeth and curls.
no, so many fans have obviously asked, how the hell does he know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing
Well,
is,
I mean, potentially there have been other multi-Doctor stories that we just haven't seen, or some of the
tell
other
us
ones
it.
which he has appeared in. Since then, with Big Finish and stuff, may have happened before this from his point of view.
Right.
yeah, well, Terence Dix does explain this in the commentary. He says, "I wrote that line for Sarah, but bloody Pertwee nicked it."
Oh, this does. Yeah.
Come and see. He can clearly
and
see that
see.
from where he sat.
I'm not gonna lie. Me and my friends do joke about this line delivery a lot. We'll sometimes just go, "Goodness me, it's the TARDIS." It's just us. It's great.
Here's a fun fact. Originally, a cyber arm was going to come into shot following the first Doctor and Susan,
Oh yeah.
and they did shoot it, but they decided to cut it because it looked really bad. And even the special edition guys thought, you know what, let's not add it. But let's add Sarah Jane pointlessly throwing a rock at some Cybermen.
Is that footage out there? Has that been released or?
Yeah, it's in the special edition.
No, the cyber arm.
Oh, I don't think it has, no.
Oh, that's one for the Blu-rays.
Yep.
Oh, that's one for the Blu. Speaking of which, I'm
I mean,
really
I do
excited
wonder...
to see this come to Blu-ray.
I do wonder for season 20, because if you look at the documentary called Celebration on this, there is footage of Longleat. Does that footage exist in its entirety?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, because I really would like to see the Longleat stuff.
Goodness me, there are 5 of me now, he says. Little does he know that there may be so many more before him.
Well, I remember for the
Billions
Two
of me.
Doctors tweet along for last year, Colin Baker, recorded a intro for TARDIS Monkey, and he said, yes, the Two Doctors, I remember this one. I'm Colin Baker. I played the 6th Doctor, or 666th Doctor, whatever it is now.
I mean, you're the Doctor. You're the Doctor. I'm the Doctor. We're all the Doctor. Everyone's the Doctor now.
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. Twice upon a... I think Stephen Moffat looked at that line like, go and make the refreshments. I thought, oh, I know. I could make a special about that.
I'm going to make the first Doctor so sexist.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like he says, go and get some refreshments. She comes back with like absinthe and this massive like cocktail, all these cocktails. It's like, where did you go to get these refreshments?
That's a yo-yo.
That is a yo-yo.
Oh, it's a bite or a bicycle bell.
or a bicycle bell.
Isn't this Transmat great? You go in and when you come out, you've got a nice cape for you to keep warm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they couldn't have at least put a cape on him here just to match up that continuity.
It's nice as well, like because obviously the Castellan, or rather this version of the Castellan, had appeared before, so it's a nice bit of continuity that you don't need to know going into this. But if you
Apparently,
you know, and it's good.
Maxwell was going to appear in this.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, which would have just
And,
seriously complicated things.
Colin Baker had been announced as the 6th Doctor at this point, so that would have been a mindfuck.
I mean, this 1983, the whole year. Obviously, I wasn't there, but looking at the documentaries and stuff, it just looked like it was such a brilliant year of celebrations, not unlike 2013.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. The BBC seemed to be going mad for Doctor Who, pushing it everywhere. And then by 1985, they were acting like it was some kind of taboo or horrid thing that had committed this war crime and didn't want anything to do with it.
And that's what's funny to me, how things just shifted so quickly in a matter of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably say change of management, because Jonathan Powell, who cancelled it, became head of serials, I think, the year after this was transmitted, so, yep. I mean, he once said that JNT should fuck off and die, really.
Oh, God.
Charming man.
Oh, God.
That's a bit harsh, especially considering they wouldn't let him leave.
Yeah,
Couldn't find anybody else to take on the show.
Yeah, there was literally no one. He was the only one, like, holding this fort up.
Exactly,
I think a lot of people forget that sometimes.
I mean, I'll say this about JNT. This is probably his... I mean, I wouldn't say it's his best story from this era, but it's his crowning achievement. He got... Even when it wasn't on the air during 1983, he got people talking about it. He was pushing it everywhere, conventions. You know, you could not... Obviously, I wasn't there, but... yeah, it just looked like you couldn't escape Doctor Who, and the fans were counting down the days till November.
Old Rassilon.
Old Rassilon.
Good old Rassilon.
Good old Rassilon.
Speaking of, you know, the Third Doctor rescuing Sarah Jane from the quote-unquote cliff, originally she was going to walk into what looked like an abandoned high street, and Autons were going to start shooting at her, and then the Doctor would come in Bessie and rescue her.
Kind of reminds me of More Than 30 Years in the TARDIS.
So the Death Zone was going to have a recreation of an Earth high street in it.
Well, the Matrix looks like an Earth quarry, so why not?
Yeah.
Or it was going to be like an abandoned village, and Autons would just pop out the window and start shooting at her.
Ah, yes, the news agents of Rassilon. The Debenhams of Rassilon.
Yeah. Or Woolworths. Given the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he says... So the Doctor says Jehoshaphat here. And I remember that there's so many people who were like, is that the Master's real name? Jehoshaphat? Is that the Master's real name?
Jehoshaphat. It's my best enemy, Jehoshaphat.
Yeah. And again,
likes to be known as Jehoshaphat, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Jehoshaphat, it really is you. So yeah, it's fun. It's kind of fun watching this, seeing. Obviously, we saw Pertwee with Delgado, and it's
it's interesting seeing him with a different master. Yeah,
and it's fun that you go, it really is. You're like, he doesn't recognise him quite at first, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's him.
And this is the only time Sarah Jane ever meets the Master.
Oh God, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always loved how Pertwee grabs that seal and just like twists it around in his hand. He's like, wow.
Yeah.
And of course they're doing a figure.
Hang on a minute. I've just realised. Time of the Doctor. What does the 11th Doctor do? Seal of Rassilon. Nicked it off the Master in the Death Zone. But if you look closely, Sarah Jane takes it off him when the Master steps forward. So, no, Sarah Jane should technically have that Moffat.
Oh, see, that's the Sarah Jane Adventures mini-sode waiting to happen, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool.
Matt's turning up and going, oh, have you got the seal? Yeah, cheers, thanks.
Probably nicked it off when they did Death of the Doctor.
Oh, yeah. I've got to say, like, we are... How long? So we're half an hour in. There's so much happening already. You know,
exactly.
A lot of 4-part stories in 25 minutes. Like nothing happens in part 1, and it's like half an hour in. It's well paced. It's well paced.
Yeah, this was in Infinity War before Infinity War was a thing.
Yeah.
Before the Stolen Earth and Journey's End, we had this.
Yeah.
What is this your favourite multi-Doctor story, or does one of the other ones take it for you guys?
It probably is my favourite, yeah.
I think it's my... Oh, God, voice crack. It's probably my favourite as well. It's just... I think it's the most fun. It is just the most fun.
It is. It just... it just takes you by the hand and asks you to come along for the ride, and it's best enjoyed with cake and fizzy drinks.
What about you, Phil?
I think I have a... Because I had it on VHS as a kid. It's like... It's always got that connection for me, so I've kind of feel a bit biased towards it, regardless. I think if I really thought about it, I mean, like, Day of the Doctor is a really good story as well, and I think that, like, if I was looking at it, trying to look at it, I mean, everything's subjective, but if I was trying to look at it slightly objectively, I'd say that one was the better story, but I do really like this, and I do have that connection to it. So this is probably the one I would go back to the most.
Yeah, it's really warm, isn't it? I mean, do we all think we're going to get a 60th, or...?
Well, we are, aren't we?
We're getting a 60th. It's whether or not we get a multi-Doctor 60th.
Oh, yeah,
right,
that's it. Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, because Russell D. Davies is coming back to do the 60th. But,
and a series, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so I don't know if he'll want to launch his era with a multi-Doctor story, though.
Yeah, and also... The new Doctor will be making their debut in the 60th anniversary?
Potentially.
Unless
they don't. Unless he waits until the series after that to introduce the 14th Doctor. And actually, we do get a multi-Doctor story as a sort of celebration before we... But that would feel like a really weird way to launch Russell T Davies coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of odd, isn't it? Because it's in an awkward position. Because if Jodie leaves, well, she's leaving in the centenary... regenerating then potentially the next one we'll see Doctor Who is that 60th. I don't know, it's going to be an odd thing, and it's why I'm glad that Russell is coming back now, because I think the pressure on a new showrunner...
There's that joke in have you seen the Five-ish Doctors reboot?
Oh yes, I love it.
Yeah,
there's that joke at the end where they're all done, Peter gets a call and is like, oh no. And it cuts to Russell going, hello, it's Russell. You know, I wrote Doctor Who back in 2005. I was thinking I could be in this. And the funny thing is, he's now doing the 60th, ironically.
Yeah.
I really hope, if we get one thing from the 60th, I hope it's a sequel to the Five-ish Doctors reboot.
I'd love it. I think Peter Davison said it for a few years he said we're developing it. Then he said, "Oh no, it's not going to happen. It's just it was a nice thing for the 50th, and that's it. We'll leave it be." But hey, 60th.
I mean, that's the thing about I mean, I wasn't expecting there to be a 60th anniversary, mainly because it's not a bigger year as say 50th. Because I know Coronation Street, they turned 60th last year, and I mean, I don't really watch it, but did they do anything monumental for their 60th?
I think they did a I don't watch it either. I think they did like a documentary on it.
Right. Because I know thing. Because I remember for Coronation Street's 50th, you know, like a big event happened which brought the entire street together, and the publicity was interesting because they did like news reports on it as if suggesting it was real. And here's a fun fact: Graham Harper directed the 50th anniversary of Coronation Street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's they're doing that thing now. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but they're doing that thing in all the soaps right now where they're doing this big crossover
between the soaps, even on different channels.
Yeah, which
I heard about that.
That's mental, and that's almost like an anniversary thing in itself, right? But it's this big. Quite a big thing that's happening. It's so they're kind of doing something now that's just not on an anniversary, and I don't know. I mean, Doctor Who's done its 10th anniversary, 20th anniversary. It did do a 30th anniversary, despite what most people think or would like.
Dimensions in Time is the Star Wars Holiday Special of Doctor Who.
It's canon. It's canon.
I mean,
no, it's not. It's
everything's canon now.
Right.
Everything's canon. Everything's canon now, and nothing is canon. That's
Yeah.
the joy. Obviously, the 40th, it was. I guess you could say Scream with the Shulker.
Well, there
Yeah.
was like an event on UK Gold where they
Yeah, that as
showed
well.
a story from each Doctor, and then they proceeded to do one on the cancellation crisis of Doctor Who, and they pretty much trashed the Colin Baker era.
Oh no.
And it's on YouTube, and I just want to put my big middle finger up
Yeah.
to them. They even trashed Sylvester McCoy, and like the guy who played the Sontaran in Shakedown. He's asked,
God.
so why do you think Doctor Who was cancelled under Sylvester McCoy? And he was like, "Have you seen them?"
Yeah, well, that's it for me for a while. Like, Sylvester McCoy was blamed for, him and Colin Baker, they were at the centre of it when it all kind of collapsed in on itself, and they were, unfortunately, the
I'm
poster
glad,
boys for the failure, which is a big shame.
I'm so glad they've been reappraised in the following years.
Yeah.
Gotta say, some of these Cybermen need to work on their posture a bit. They're slouching quite a lot, some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are better than others, but some of them are, a bit slouching, got the shoulders hunched.
Some of them
need to
are-
work on your posture,
guys.
Cybermen.
Some of them are struggling
Guys.
to walk over the...
Guys, these Cybermen, the Doctor and the Master are right in front of them, and they can't shoot them. Plot armor.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is cancelled now.
He's dead. Have you seen the aim? The aim of these bastards? Yeah, no, it's... I just realised we talked over the greatest bit in the history of Doctor Who. We talked... No. We talked over the first Doctor eating his pineapple. Tucking into his pineapple.
Oh, God.
I love that. I need to speak about the music as well. I love the music for this.
Yeah, it's Peter Howell who did this. It's I love the horn of Rassilon. It's terrific.
Susan has twisted her ankle. Of course she has.
You bring back the granddaughter of Doctor Who and you twist her ankle.
Again. It's always funny because she just trips on the most obvious bit of sticking up ground.
Yep.
Just jump over it. You can
I
see
forget.
it.
I think it's great that for the 50th, Carol Ann Ford made an appearance at the Doctor Who at the Proms.
Oh, yeah, she did, yeah. And Doctor Who Live the After Party.
Yeah, I remember people have referenced that on Twitter today, and oh god, even Stephen Moffat did on his Instagram. It's just it's a screenshot of him, head in his hands, and just saying, "For the love of God, we can't do this."
Yeah, I mean, we sent it to you earlier, Phil.
Did you watch it?
No, what was it? Sorry, I must have missed that message.
No, don't.
It was the live. Did you watch Doctor Who: The After Party when it came out after the Day of the Doctor?
Well, I watched Day of the Doctor at the cinema, so if it was on immediately afterwards, I probably didn't.
Same.
Oh well, the thing is, I watched it at the cinema, but I think I recorded it on Sky Plus because I just recorded anything to do with Doctor Who at that point, and it was so bad.
Yeah, so the context is they decided for some reason to call One Direction via video link when they were halfway across the world.
Because it was their...
Oh yes, I'm sorry. That was the thing you sent me earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see you send it, but I didn't act out watching it.
Well, if you want to cringe for 3 minutes and oh my god, it's one of the...
Are One Direction particularly Doctor Who fans?
They said they were.
Well, the thing is, it was One Direction Day on the same day, and that's their way of sharing it. But I mean, screw all the past companions and doctors we've got back for this event. Let's talk to a fucking boy band.
The funniest thing is, you wouldn't know if they were fans or not, because the whole thing about that clip is the video link is hilariously awful. And
yeah, because they even say in the clip,
delay.
they even say in the clip, we haven't actually watched the episode yet.
It just cuts to Stephen Moffat with the 15-second delay, so there's just this echo of voices upon voices upon voices, and it just cuts to Stephen Moffat with his head in his hands, and he goes, "For the love of God, we can't do this."
Those two hosts were awful.
It's terrible.
I mean, there's they speak
TV.
to some fans like in the bar, and one fan says, "I found the special Day of the Doctor very moving, but the guy's just been the guy host, he's just been an absolute twat and says, "Oh, you found it a dirty movie. I don't know what you were watching."
Yeah, it's just car crash TV. It really is. Oh,
And they made the
dear.
companions do this thing like, "Sit down if you didn't do this."
Oh yeah,
And like,
yeah.
you've got to remember, some of them are in their 80s. Like, they can't stand up very long.
Yeah, people in their 80s and 90s, and they're telling these people to sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. And I think Mark Gatiss walks
Heck,
on.
Bernard Cribbins, bless him, he just says, "You know what? I'm just going to sit down."
Yeah, Mark Gatiss walks
And then
on and
they-
goes, "Let them sit down."
And then they do that ultimate fuck you by saying, "Sit down if your catchphrase wasn't affirmative, master."
Yeah,
Making K9 the winner.
Weird.
Yep. Hope there's nothing like that for the 60th.
I've got to say, I love how all this stuff is shot in the Death Zone. The fog creeping
Yeah,
in.
the Cybermen here, you'd imagine that there's thousands of them in the mist back there. It looks great.
It is great. Has that figure set come out yet? Of the
I don't
five
know.
Doctors with the Raston robot in it? Because I've not seen it anywhere.
No, I think they're all delayed, aren't they? That
Oh, were they? Okay,
okay.
yeah, because I was wondering, because I knew that they were like supposed to be October. That came and went, and I didn't see anything about it, but I guess it makes sense if they're delayed.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really bought any B&M sets yet, but they're slowly but surely making their way through every Dalek story, so when they get to the 80s, I'll probably put down the cash and buy a set.
I bought the Keys of Marinus set the other day. I'm not actually a collector of figures. I've got barely
Yeah.
any, but I just really like the look of the board. So
Yeah.
They're
I can't
great.
get myself some of those.
They're great
The
figures.
Give me
Sensorite
some of those
figures
rubber bad
were,
boys.
yeah, the Sensorite figures were cool because I think Peter R. Newman's niece, he wrote the Sensorites, said I think she tweeted a picture of holding them, saying Uncle Peter would be so proud that his creations have now become action figures.
Nice. That is
Aw,
That's really
nice.
good.
No, they're great figures. They really are. It's mental. We're getting like obscure.
And we're getting a
Doctor Who
Raston
villains.
robot figure, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we are. We have Raston robot figure. Who'd have thought? I mean, my relationship with the Dalek figures, especially, it's just like I've got too many Daleks, but I'm just like every time a Dalek set comes out, I'm like, well, I've got to have it because I've got the others. So I just end up. But yeah, I've got too many Daleks. But yeah, no, and they're doing this Pertwee with in the set as well,
Yeah.
with this.
Well, this
cape
is the
thing.
closest the third Doctor got to facing the Cybermen.
Yeah. The Raston.
Is the
robot.
Raston killer robot in anything other than this? It's not, is it?
Nope.
No, only
The most perfect killing machine ever devised, and it never appears again.
It's probably on Big Finish or the books or something, but on TV, this is this is it.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm surprised the whole Auton scene was cut for budget, but they kept this in.
Yeah, it is kind of it's weird that the effect isn't anything remarkable, but it's kind of sinister.
To me, it's just the sound effect, though. Whee! Bow!
That's a great little shot there. The reflection of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I mean, this gets randomly really violent all of a sudden.
Yeah, that Cyberman totally vomits.
He gets decapitated. It's really like.
There's a video on YouTube, it's footage from a convention, which is how to die like a Cyberman. And David Banks, before he does his bit, he actually takes a bit of water and spits it out, like in this.
I think we're about to, in a second, we're about to get the famous mind probe.
Not the mind probe.
No, not the mind probe.
The Seal of Rassilon. This has come round recently.
Oh yeah.
It's explained why there's been a theory of why it's in Revenge of the Cybermen as the Vogan symbol. And spoilers for those who haven't seen Village of the Angels, but the Division, part of the Time Lords, have used the Weeping Angels to do their dirty work for them. So who knows? Maybe they had a deal with the Vogans to do their dirty work.
Yeah.
I like the theory.
It's a cool theory.
Yeah.
It's a really cool theory. I think it's fun watching these now because it's like with this Division revelation, it's like they're everywhere under our noses,
yeah.
and it's like, I wonder who's the division.
It was
it's cool.
It was that critic called, what was it, Darren? He made a really
No,
good thread
not the mind
about.
probe.
There it
No,
is.
not the mind pro.
Yeah, I was just saying I saw a really interesting thread about the Weeping Angels, about how they're the creeping nature of fascism. Like, you don't take it
saw that.
seriously at first because it's just a statue, and it creeps up on you and eventually kills you. It's a really nice analogy, I think.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the peak of Time Lords with silly hats, as the
Yeah.
10th Doctor liked to say.
Well, funnily enough, the original villain in this was going to be shock horror, the Master, but I think it was Eric Sayward who said that's a bit predictable. But
Yeah.
I do like that it's Barusa, because if you look at his appearance in, say, The Deadly Assassin, it's totally in line with his character, because in that he covers up Chancellor Goff's involvement with the Master to make him look like a hero. So it shows that in the past he's not afraid to bend the rules and play dirty.
Yeah.
So it does make sense why he is the villain here. And also in the original script, it was going to be the Fourth Doctor who went to Gallifrey and discovered who the Renegade was. But yeah, obviously when Tom dropped out, it was given to the Fifth
It's
Doctor. And I'm
interesting,
glad.
because given that he wasn't the current Doctor, it feels like something
Yeah.
the current Doctor should be doing.
Yeah, much better that it's given to the current Doctor. Yeah.
What would they have had Peter Davison doing if
I don't know.
he wasn't doing that?
I love how they got a Yeti back for this. It's so great.
It's a Yeti. Yeah, no, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So I think, Isaac, you know a lot about. You've done a brilliant documentary on it on your YouTube channel. You know a lot about the early scripting process for this. What would the Fourth Doctor have been doing? Like, you know, what villains would he have been facing, or would he have just gone straight to Gallifrey?
I don't know. I think he would have gone straight to Gallifrey. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Fifth Doctor's original role was in the original script. I can't remember, but yeah, I know that was a significant change.
Yeah, I mean, it is sort of.
And also at I do know at the Brigadier's farewell party at the start, there was going to be appearances from Harry Sullivan, Liz Shaw, Captain Yates.
Oh yeah.
But they were unavailable, I think, for those filming dates.
Yeah, it's I mean, do we think the absence of Tom Baker harms the story greatly, or?
I don't think so. No.
No, I mean it would have been lovely to have him there, obviously, but I find after that first scene, I don't find myself going, oh, where's Tom Baker? Where's the Fourth Doctor?
Yeah.
Kind of just forget about him.
Yeah, I think it would have been more jarring if more years had passed. You know, since Tom Baker left, if that makes sense. Like, if this was in McCoy's era, I think it would have been jarring if he wasn't there. But I think because he had just left, it was like it doesn't feel too bad in the grand scheme of things, like when it was placed, if that makes sense.
Funny you should say that. At a convention in 1984, it's on YouTube, I think. J&T does reveal that he was going to do a 25th anniversary called The Six Doctors, and yeah, bear in mind this was a year before Doctor Who went on hiatus, so yeah, he was already making plans for a 25th anniversary called The Six Doctors, and that's so sad because yeah, he would have expected Colin to stay quite a while.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they've done all of the on Big Finish. They've expanded that, haven't they? So we've now got the One Doctor. They've done the Six Doctors, the Eight Doctors.
The Eight Doctors was a book.
It was a book, yeah, that was it. That was, and I read that. It's quite good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it's a good book. It's decent. It's very much. It reminds me a lot of Avengers Endgame, funnily enough, because it's just kind of yeah, a little trip down memory lane. But yeah, I think, isn't there an audio called The Infinity Doctors from a few years ago.
That's a book as well,
is
isn't
it a book? It's
I
a
think.
book, yeah.
That's a book.
That's a book, yeah, which is very prescient given what we know now.
Now, this stuff here with the Cybermen getting kebabbed by the Raston robot, this was all second unit shot by John Nathan Turner.
Oh, nice. Now, I mean, it's proper. It's a bit of a bloodbath, isn't it? They get away with it because it's Cybermen, but it is a pretty cool sequence.
Yeah, I mean, I like
kind
how
of
in the
looks
special...
it kind of looks like they're just robots when they get bits blown off them.
It's just circuitry.
Well, you do see the cyber leader vomit, so I suppose that's something organic.
That's true, yeah.
True, but like when they get their arms chopped off and their heads chopped off, there's like wires sticking out, but it doesn't look like they had a head there or an actual arm underneath that. So
that is a good
in the
point.
special edition, they added in gunfire from the Cybermen to make it look like they were trying to shoot it rather than standing around like melons.
Yeah. I mean, it's an effective way of kind of demonstrating the power of the Raston as well. Because it's like, here's a group of Cybermen. It's like Cybermen are pretty feared villains. Here, you're taking them down without a sweat. It's really cool. It's a great scene. It's just funny how violent it gets all of a sudden, and we have the gratuitous decapitation shot of it just going nope, and just casually taking the head off that Cyberman. It's like,
yeah, I mean, one thing I like in the special edition is that it looks around and then jumps away as if and that's the last time we see it, whereas here it's cut early, but I like that, as if to suggest my work here is done. Bye.
And I see on Gallifrey they've turned it into a bit of a garden centre.
Yeah,
got the ponds and everything.
it's very handy that climbing equipment was just hanging there in the cave.
Yeah.
well, I think he says look, good, the robot's extra arrows.
What's extra arrows?
Yeah.
Has anyone read the Target novel of this?
No, I haven't, but infamously it came out before the episode aired.
I think I might have owned it once when I was a kid, but then I think I got rid of it.
It's
Before
in the
collecting Doctor Who books, it's just something that I just happened to get.
Yeah.
And then
it's now in
got rid of it.
Oh, cool.
It's now in the Terrence Dicks collection.
Oh yeah, I really want to pick that up. I really like the cover of it. It's like, isn't it the one with that silver cover and then there's like the blue?
Yeah,
that's it. I think the cover's really striking.
I mean, yeah, speaking of Terrence Dicks, I'm glad before he died he got to write one last Doctor Who story for the Target storybook. He wrote a Season 6 B adventure.
Oh, nice.
Featuring the second Doctor, yeah. It's brilliant.
I mean, like I said earlier, you get anyone to write this, you're gonna get Uncle Terrence, and you like he knew Doctor Who like the back of his hand, and he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, and if you look at most of his stories, apart from say Robot and the Horror of Fang Rock, he's always expanding on the mythology of Time Lords, mainly because he created them. Because even in State of Decay, they talk about the great vampires being ancient enemies of the Time Lords.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's true.
Just before it moves on from this, I've got to say I really like that. Less so good in this shot where it's composited on, but the shot a second ago when she was hanging off the edge, that was it was a really good set and filmed in a really good way that makes it actually look like she's dangling from a big height, even though she obviously wasn't.
It is really good. They do the miniatures of the rope grabbing onto the spire and stuff. It's really well done. The look of the tower, like you say, it's less so in the shots where it's composited in, but even where they're looking at it from afar and stuff, it's really well done. Like you get a sense of the scale. It's an impressive effect.
I feel sorry for Carol Ann Ford and Mark Strickson. I get the feeling that their scenes were probably shot last, and everyone's gone home. It's 9:30 at night. They've still got to film their scenes. It's like when everyone else goes home, but you've got to work overtime, or you've got to work till closing.
I was about to ask the same question as she just asked then. I was like, how many times, when would he stop doing this and be satisfied that it was safe to go?
Exactly, yeah. It's a shame the third Doctor's not here, because he would have said, stop, don't move.
Oh yeah, stop, don't move. I mean, it's cool. I'm on my watch through of Doctor Who right now. I've stopped calling it a marathon because it's more just a brisk walk currently, because I'm just so slow watching through all these stories. I'm on season 10, so I'm on Pertwee now, and it's fun now, like watching him in this. Obviously we've gone past his scene, but it's he really just doesn't feel like he's been away.
That's true, yeah.
And again, like you said earlier, Triton's having the most fun. I think Pertwee is having so much fun as well, because he just he's relishing the action stuff he gets to do, like with the rope and everything, and driving Bessie around. He's really relishing it, and I think it's great.
And it was I think it was this story and the whole event surrounding the 20th anniversary that convinced Patrick Troughton to do conventions, because quite famously he didn't like giving interviews, but I think it might have been John Pertwee who said, "Oh no, you've got to come to a convention. They're great. Fans are brilliant. They love meeting you," and things like that. And he agreed to do it. And
nice.
Sadly, he did. Sadly, he died at a convention. Patrick Troughton.
Oh yeah, of course. I think I heard. I can't remember which way around it was. I'm pretty sure I heard a story that it was. He didn't realize quite how much doing conventions and things paid, and then. Or was it conventions, or was it opening things? It might have been things like opening car set. There was something on a DVD commentary I heard recently where they were talking about it, and it was basically it was why has my mind gone blank? Who was it? What's the third Doctor's name? What's the actor called? John. Yeah, John. He said to him, "Oh yeah, you should do this. You should get in on this because you could earn quite a lot of money from it." And that was it. It was at a convention, and John told him that he'd been doing like opening of car showrooms and things like that, and getting paid quite handsomely for it. And then so he picked up on it.
And this story started off a trend that I wish would stop getting overused. The Cybermen and the Master. Well, the Master pretty much kicking the Cybermen's ass and overpowering them.
Oh, yeah.
After teaming up with them, yeah.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. I mean, I swear, like I said a while ago, since like Series 8,
it's happened.
It's either the Master coming back or the Cybermen, usually a combination of both. Obviously with the exception of Series 11 and Series 9, but yeah, it happens so often.
Has anyone seen the Five Doctors Rude edition?
The Rude edition?
Oh.
Yeah, this scene, when the Master says, "Drive, Doctor, it's as easy as Bob!" What an extraordinary fellow. As easy as Bob. As easy as fuck.
As easy as fuck. Yeah.
As easy as fuck.
I love the Doctor Who poop episode for this. It's
we can offer you a Wii U.
and a power-boosted, open-ended Wii U. What makes you think I want your Wii U?
I've actually never attempted to make a Doctor Who YouTube poop yet.
Or maybe that's the next
thing. I should
thing.
start now.
That's the next thing.
Yeah. So I've only done Thomas the Tank Engine, Postman Pat, and a few Disney films.
I didn't listen that closely to it here with their interaction, but does the first Doctor recognise the Master at all? Does he know who? Because
no, because the Doctor says, "Do I know you, young man?" And the Master just says, "Oh, we were at the academy together."
And that's it. That's where they leave it.
That's where they leave it.
He never reveals who he is.
No, yeah, because the Master says, "Oh,
yeah, and I
believe
just
it or
realised
not, we were at the academy together."
Yeah, and Anthony Ainley, as the Master, he got to meet all of the classic Doctors. He encountered all the classic Doctors, one way or another.
That's very true.
And so did Nicholas Courtney, even as the Brigadier, because he's in the Three Doctors. They're both in the first Doctor and the Brigadier are both in the Three Doctors.
Yeah, and of course Nicholas Courtney, as an actor, he was in obviously Dalek's Master Plan, alongside William Hartnell. So This is fun. This is the bit of where I love this sort of bit of detective work he uses. Like
and I like how the password is the sheet music that's on the painting. That's really clever.
It's very cool.
Here come the illusions. Terrence Dicks said, "I didn't write these bits, and I don't like them."
Why didn't he like them?
I don't know, because I think he says, "I don't understand it. I think it's waffle. I don't like it."
All right.
Knowing Terrence, he probably didn't like them because he didn't write them.
Yeah.
That's all the reason he probably needed to not like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the second and third Doctor see illusions, and I do wonder. The first Doctor fights it off, saying, "Fear is nothing but an illusion." And I wonder if he did see those phantoms, which companions would he have seen? Dodo?
Well.
Dodo, my goodness, dear girl.
You recovered from your headache? No. Probably Ben and Polly, maybe?
Or maybe Ian and Barbara.
Ian and Barbara. Oh, it would have been nice to see Ian and Barbara in this, actually.
Well, Ian was going to be in Mordrin Undead.
Yes, he was, yeah. It's nice that they did this, because it's sort of like... It's a bit of a checklist of the companions. It's like, right, who haven't we seen yet? Liz and Mike, yep, tick them off. Get Jamie and Zoe in.
Interesting. Well, for Jamie and Zoe, originally it was going to be Jamie and Victoria, and the second Doctor would have deduced that they're not real because Victoria would have called Lethbridge Stewart the Brigadier when she only knew him as a colonel.
That would have been really clever.
Yeah.
That's quite a clever, yeah. Your phantoms, illusions of the mind. That's sort of the comic booky line that only John Pertwee can quite pull off in that specific way.
Yep.
Yeah, it's... And of course we'll get to Triton's visions in a bit, but of course they basically confirm Season 6B.
Yeah, because he references the War Games.
Yeah, well, you're not real, the Time Lords erase your memories.
Well, maybe the second Doctor's appearances here are part of the CIA.
Yes, yeah, well, or I guess maybe the Division now.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, do we think they're going to actually delve into Season 6B at all?
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly. There's still a possibility that Ruth fits there.
Definitely.
And I do like
Charlton and Pertwee.
I do like how here the Doctor isn't affected by as he says, the domain of Rassilon. It's a nice bit of foreshadowing because at the end of the story he's the one to figure it out. He knew very well immortality was a curse.
Yeah, and of course if any Doctor would not be affected, it's nice that it's Hartnell.
Yeah.
Or Herndl in this case, but you know.
Yeah.
The first Doctor. Well, can you see I think you can see the top of the set there.
I think you can, yeah.
I think that's just the edge of the set.
I think in some versions of this being a four-parter, the cliffhanger was actually there where you hear a scream and the Brigadier goes, "What was that?"
Or his...
What is she wearing?
Dressed in bubble wrap.
I was like, bubble wrap?
She's literally...
You're not real. People don't wear bubble wrap.
She's literally dressed in bubble wrap.
Is she wearing bubble wrap?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
She's literally dressed in bubble wrap.
And apparently, when they were in rehearsals, you know, Troughton, Hines and Bradbury, they all just gave each other a big hug.
Oh.
And apparently the other Doctors looked over at them and just were like, looked at their companions and were like, "You never did that with me."
There's the line. Definitely post War Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screaming is not an answer. When you prove someone wrong on Twitter, they just scream. That's their reaction.
Yeah. I quite like the two different reactions from John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton. So Obviously, John Pertwee goes off and goes, "Your phantoms, illusions of the mind." Troughton.
Yeah, the second.
Yes, it's
Troughton
sad.
confronts them.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you look at their eras, it might have been the other way around.
Yeah.
The second Doctor probably would have ran away.
Yeah, and when they go and disappear, like he sits there and goes, "Yes, it's sad." It's just like a bit of a melancholic reaction from him in comparison to the third Doctor's.
Mm-hmm.
The harp of Rassilon.
I love
like
that.
the scroll of Rassilon and the rod of Rassilon. So many things of Rassilon.
The rod of Rassilon.
Please sit on the toilet of Rassilon.
Have you guys seen the Scottish falsetto sock puppet Time Lords?
No,
No.
but I want to with a name like that.
It's on the War Games DVD as an Easter egg. They basically edit themselves into the Doctor's trial,
Oh,
and they're
right.
like, one of the clips is the Doctor saying, "You can't condemn me to a primitive planet looking like this," and then it cuts them saying, "Yeah, true. He is going to be getting people coming up to him saying, 'Didn't you used to be Patrick Troughton?'" Ooh, you're not like this when we're polishing Rassilon's rod together.
So of course, the studio footage for this whole kind of last section is brilliant on the DVD.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it's like you look in the background, the companions are all just talking, and it's
Yeah,
like
they're just like, so what's your Doctor like?
yeah. It's still so much fun to see them all in a room together, like
Mm-hmm.
working together. It is great.
And I love this as well between the third Doctor and the Brigadier. Because I think maybe the third Doctor gets that this Brigadier hasn't seen that Doctor for years.
Yeah.
Which other Doctors meet the Brigadier in other episodes past this one? Does the fifth Doctor ever meet him in another episode?
In Mordrin
Yeah, he
and
meets
Dead.
him in Mordrin Undead, which was
Oh, okay.
before this. Yeah, and the
Which
seventh
is before this. So
Doctor-
does he recognise the fifth Doctor when he comes in here?
Yeah, because he recognises Tegan, who's in that story.
Oh,
so-
of course, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and the seventh Doctor obviously encounters him in Battlefield.
And the
Yeah.
sixth Doctor does in Dimensions in Time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I would have preferred if you said Big Finish rather than that abomination.
Oh, it's brilliant.
That's it.
and you
That's
know
the
it.
only good. That's the only good thing about Dimensions in Time. The Sixth Doctor meeting the Brigadier.
Fun fact: Dimensions in Time was the first new episode of Doctor Who that I watched live as a back in 1993 when I was 8 years old.
Did you have it in
And it
3D?
got some of the highest ratings ever for Doctor Who.
Yeah, because it was on Children in Need.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. Did you watch it in 3D with your
I did. I had my 3D glasses.
nice
Oh,
Fun times.
Noel Edmonds going?
I just
"Oh,
love.
the Committee
I
of
just
Doctor."
love in. I love in that special. Out of all the enemies to come back and face the Doctor, you've got that fucking one of those mutants from Mordrin Undead. Oh, I'm so scared.
They just raided
And a random Time Lord.
And a-
just
Yeah.
just a random Time Lord.
and Fifi from the Happiness Patrol randomly. They just raided the BBC costume cupboard.
60th anniversary, bring back the Absorbaloff.
Oh my god!
The
please.
greatest feast of all 14 Doctors.
Oh,
But I'm not
please.
absorbing the woman, she's a woman.
Oh my god! Bring back the Absorbaloff and make him a Not My Doctor.
Not My-
Sorry, what is he holding there? Because it looks a bit rude, frankly.
It does
Tissue
look quite
compression
rude.
eliminator.
Oh, is that what that is?
TCE.
Yeah.
But it does look
It
very.
looks
I
like
love-
it could be used for another more intimate purpose.
And I love that
Wow.
from
There's-
the Brigadier there when he says, "Nice to see you again."
Someone's edited it so it's like, nice to see you, nice. Punch. But yeah, no, you're right. The TCE in this does look very, very
I
phallic.
love Susan and Turlo's reaction there. Oh, it's a bomb. That's what we're going to do now. Die.
Have we missed it? Have we missed it, or have we got to the bit yet where Susan goes, "What do we do now?" And it just cuts to Turtle, and he goes, "Die."
Yeah, we've just gone over
Just
it, I
gone
think.
over
Yeah.
it.
What do we do? Well, in the special edition, he says, "Die." It seems.
Oh yeah. You know,
I mean, in this, they've made the cyber voices here high pitched to make it look as if oh, it's a different set of Cybermen, but it's stupid.
Do you know what I think would be better if instead of die in that scene, Evil Dan walked through the door and went, "What's the point of being alive?
What's the point in being alive? You're not even dressed up."
Soup. I wonder where those figures are.
And then he just comes in and solves everything, and he goes, "I'm good at this.
I'm good at this. All right, lads.
I'm good at this.
I'm good at this. I am."
All right, lad. I've got to walk.
I've got to walk. Oh god. I wonder where those figures are now. The figurines.
Probably it's someone's loft.
Someone's attic.
Yeah.
Right, that's it. I'm using this commentary to put a word out. If you or anyone you know might have the figures from the Five Doctors in your attic, please DM me.
I like how, because they've now revealed him as the bad guy, he has changed into black clothes. It's like, I'm going to be revealed soon. I must look the part and dress in black for this scene.
Yeah, and well, of course, it matches up with the black hand we see putting those figures on the table.
Yes,
Yeah.
and sort of mildly annoyed, smacking the control panel.
Yeah, that's great hand acting. It's like, bugger.
Yes. He does play Barusa really well, though. It's great.
Oh yeah, I'd just like to point out this. Barusa more or less gets the same fate than Ursula does in Love and Monsters. But in Love and Monsters, it's treated as fucking romantic. No, it's not. It's fucking horrible, you piece of shit, stupid episode.
I think Barusa gets some... I'm not going to go there. I was going to make a joke.
Yeah, but Barusa doesn't have to watch Elton Pope fucking dance to ELO.
Oh. Well, funnily enough, actually, we're sort of jumping the gun a bit, but the punishment that Barusa gets later, that's come up again recently as well, after Village with the Angels, because of the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, turning to stone.
Yeah, is that like an ancient time?
And yeah, spoilers, the Doctor is now turned into stone.
Yeah.
Is this now part of the Weeping Angels? Just, wow.
Yeah,
I'm going to make a note of that for a future theory video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, should we put money on that, if that comes back?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's...
I mean, back to Ursula again. She now has to watch Elton Pope dance and give him blowjobs when he needs it. I mean, at least Barusa doesn't have to do that. I'd say he's got it better.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends who walks into that room and what they're thinking of doing.
We've even got a bit of a love life. Oh, let's not go into that. Let's not.
Well, there you go. That's why he gave him the companion. He gave you companions to help.
Oh, to help.
So it's
that's
a
it.
bit of a game, like, you know.
Would have been cool if, say, every time, say you cut to the hand picking up a figure, and I don't know, the Fifth Doctor's talking to Tegan or Turlo, picks up and they disappear as if they're taken off the board and moved somewhere else, like a game of chess.
Like Back to the Future almost. So his hand starts disappearing. It's like,
yeah.
That's a mighty impressive crown that he's pulling off there.
Yep. Kneel before Zod.
Kneel before me. Yeah, no, this is Davison doing his best. I'm all hypnotised, isn't it? Acting. Best hypnotised acting.
It's quite funny with this and watching The Invasion of Time, because in that story, the Doctor and Barusa, they literally walk down a corridor arm in arm while Sontaran's shooting at them. And they're like, should we start running? Oh, yes, I think we should. It's such a weird contrast to this. Apparently, Troughton ad-libs this next line. Oh, there I am. I mean, there you are. I think we've missed it, but the third Doctor did say, well, reverse the polarity of the neutron flow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because he only ever says that full line, the full line, a couple of times, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Although I noticed Jodie said it in Village of the Angels.
She did, yeah.
He's even got an evil cane,
Apparently,
evil staff.
yeah, apparently, Barusa here, when he says, be silent all of you, he's pretty much frozen the companions, but I don't think some of them got the memo, because some of them still look when they're walking over.
Yes, Nicholas Courtney.
Yeah, Nicholas Courtney, he's still looking.
You look at Tegan and she's like stood frozen in place, and then Nicholas Courtney's just looking at him.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this about the special edition as well. I do like in that one, Rassilon does have more of a booming voice, whereas here he kind of sounds a bit like a game show host. This is the game of Rassilon, where you can win what? Where you can win immortality.
Some kind of mind lock.
Mm-hmm. I saw a review of Hellbent, because obviously Rassilon's in that, and they actually said, you know what would have made this better? If you made this Time Lord Barusa, at least I could have understood why he's so useless.
You've gone from the 3 Doctors to the 4 Doctors. Nearly there, guys. Nearly there.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Well, it's
at the title.
It's technically 3.5 Doctors, because Turndall's not really the Doctor. And one thing I do like about the whole immortality thing is that it's not a thing that the Doctor has to necessarily defeat. It's just a power that's beyond his comprehension or control that they all decide, agree to, let's just leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
Quite convenient that there's one spare space on that coffin.
There is, yeah. And I do wonder, what if more people come to claim immortality? Do they start to move on to the floor?
I was about to say, is like, round the back of it, is there more spaces?
Yep.
But yeah, no, looking at it now, yeah, Weeping Angels maybe.
Oh god, yeah, that'd be a nice bit of continuity.
And of course, that ties into End of Time, where
because he says
like the Weeping Angels of old.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and there's women at the back, like with their hands in front of their faces, like the Weeping Angels. It's like, okay, this is
Well, isn't one of them supposed to be the Doctor's mother?
implied. Yeah.
Well, the new theory going round is that Belle is the Doctor's mother.
I've seen that.
Or the mother
yeah.
of the timeless child. I'm half human on my mother's side.
I love how that's clearly a mannequin there, the corpse, because he just touches it and the fingers bend.
Mm-hmm.
Rassilon here is kind of he's almost, well, he's not quite a good guy, but he's a lot more sympathetically portrayed than he is in the new series.
Yes, in the new series he's a pure villain, whereas in this it's like he's just this force, really, that is just like almost nature itself.
Yeah, and the Doctor still has some kind of reverence for him here as well.
Because the weird thing is, in the End of Time, he proclaims, I will not die. But what's the line the first Doctor says? He knew very well immortality is a curse.
Yeah.
Continuity, what's that?
It's really creepy. It is really creepy. The faces in the
And the faces just, stop moving and turn back to statues. That is...
it's sinister.
Oh, that's creepy.
It is quite sinister. Yeah, I like that as well. They're all like, oh, I've just been frozen, and then Nicholas Courtney.
Yeah.
I love how Troughton hides behind Pertwee.
Yeah, they've all got a different reaction of saying, no thank you.
He hides behind John Pertwee. It's great.
And I love this clip as well, the Doctor, hurry! Because in the special edition, it's just a shot of them being on the river. This is much better, I think.
Yes. And he slams the door on the scarf.
Yeah.
God, how hard did the brig punch him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like wrestler there.
There's something quite Raiders of the Lost Ark about it. Everyone's after it, but when you get it, it kills you.
Yes, exactly. And it's just this force that is just like, yeah, don't go near it, don't touch it. It's not worth it.
Again, it's quite similar to Raiders. The main hero doesn't have to do anything, and the outcome would probably have been the same. Yeah. Barusa would have gotten his immortality.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great that it's the first Doctor who figured it out.
And this is one of my favourite scenes in the whole thing, because I could just watch these four interacting.
Yeah, and it just reminds me of when we go to events or conventions and we're saying goodbye, it's like this.
Yeah. Yes, hopefully I'll make it to the... one day I'll make it to the BFI. Yes, one day.
Well, the Abominable Snowman is
yeah,
probably going to have a screening, so fingers crossed.
Hopefully I can make it. It is just, yeah, it's... It feels...
Philip, are you still there? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I've gotten too wrapped up in watching it.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a lovely scene. And Sarah Jane meeting the Fifth Doctor there as well, lovely as well. And...
Oh yeah, he says, "Thank you, Sarah Jane. It was nice meeting you too." What?
No thanks.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. Like, you have met her. You were those other people.
I like that line as well.
I get her saying it, but
I prefer the special edition edit where it's the time scoop that takes them home.
Yeah, the TARDIS is a bit strange because it's just the same TARDIS. It's not.
Yeah, because they never came in the TARDIS. They all came in a time scoop.
Yeah. Nowadays, especially like if we were in the RTD era, we have them returning home and celebrating and. Murray got to get the violins out.
Yeah, and all hugging each other in the TARDIS.
Yeah. And I love this springboards into the next sort of couple of years of Doctor Who where he's just running from the Time Lords. He's technically president and he's just like, nope, don't want it. I just want to travel.
But then when he's on trial and he's like, I'm president of the Time Lords, and they're like, no, in your absence we got rid of you. And he's like, what? And then he's like offended that they would depose him.
So if Boris Johnson goes on holiday, does that mean we can just depose his office and take over as Prime Minister?
That would be nice. He does seem to go on holiday an awful lot, especially at convenient times when he doesn't want to talk about things.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Politics on Gallifrey. Wouldn't it be so much better if it was just applied to real life?
I
mean, everyone loves this last scene, and for good reason, because it's just 20 years. less rapidly. What a
It's
perfect
just a
line.
great anniversary special that celebrates the past but also looks to the future as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite similar to the Three Doctors, where again celebrate the past but also they look to the future by making the Third Doctor available now to travel through time and space again.
Yeah, exactly. I think the best anniversary specials do that. They kind of springboard the show forward, while at the same time looking back.
Yeah.
There, the Doctor does it. And this theme variation is brilliant.
Why not?
That was a great last line as well. Just like that, why not? That's how it all started.
What a brilliant last
Yeah, I
line.
loved this.
Yeah, this variation of the theme is brilliant. And how it blends into the Howl theme. But
Yeah, it's just perfect. I think it's such a great anniversary story. I can't really imagine any Doctor Who fan hating this. Maybe not liking it or not being keen on it, but it's such an event story, if that makes sense.
definitely, there are holes in it, but at the same time, it's like, wow, it's just fun. It's just really fun.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to judge it like objectively because I've got such fun nostalgic memories of it. It's just like I love it, and I love watching it. But yeah,
No, it's definitely one of those stories I personally I can put on whenever because it is just
definitely.
so comfy and
I think I did. I think that's probably my most watched Doctor Who story simply because I had it. It was one of 2 VHSs I had as a kid, so it probably got quite worn out, that tape.
definitely, yeah, and it's so like quintessentially Doctor. Like every bit of it is just pure Doctor Who, and it's my favourite anniversary special.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the end of the commentary, everyone. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Phil, for joining us for this one. It's been great.
Thanks for having
It's
me.
been great having you on. I said earlier, your brilliant YouTube channel. Everyone go and subscribe to that. Where else can they find you on online?
That's mainly it, really. I mean, I am on Twitter as well, but I'm going to have to spell this out for you because my Twitter name is stupid.
Okay.
That's not what it is. It's not at stupid. It's
Stupid.
It's at IUDEX_Phil. Phil with 1 L.
Wait, it's an I? I thought it was an L.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I have to spell it.
I thought it was an L.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's an L. I really
I've been calling you Ludex for years.
I know. It's Latin, so it's instantly pretentious rubbish that I came up with when I was at uni. And I was just like, it wasn't even for Twitter, it was for something else. I think it might have been for World of Warcraft, or something like that. I needed an online name for something, and I was like, okay, I've got this Idiot's Guide to Latin, I'm gonna flick through there till I find a name I like. And I came across that, and it's pronounced Udex, so it's a silent I as well, which, as well as looking like an L on most typefaces, it is a silent I, so you don't even say it, and it's Udex, and nobody knows how to spell it. So I keep saying I'm going to change it, but maybe one day I will. I don't know, I've had it for such a long time now.
Oh, hey, it's unique.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but nobody knows what it is, and everybody calls me Ludex.
Well,
so there you go. So that's how you can find me on Twitter, and YouTube is just my name, Philip with 1 L Hawkins.
yeah, cool.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
definitely go and subscribe. Brilliant channel, absolutely brilliant channel, and it's been great having you on.
Thank you.
So this will be our last commentary for a while now, because Isaac, you're off acting, doing great.
Yes, I am. I'm doing a lot of work over Christmas,
So this is it for a while, but we'll probably be back at some point in the new year, early in the new year. But until then, fear not, because we have a full playlist of commentaries on my channel, from everything from Batman to Spider-Man to Avengers, Doctor Who, of course, Star Wars, anything on there, you name it, we got it. The full playlist is on there. Go and listen. And we will be back at some point in January. But until then, I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.